compound with the other children from Giljon's cage. The child-taker had never intended to sell Marcus to Partness Reeve, though. He'd suspected Marcus of martial blood and had taken him on to be offered where such talents would fetch a richer price. The great hall had stood silent and dark on that midnight long ago, and as the night had shaded into morning, young Marcus had shivered and clutched himself, and never suspected that he would one day stand within, part of a sweating, heaving mass, baying for blood. Even though it was Marcus's first time before the rings, he knew Denham's name. Despite his tender years, the young man was the new champion among the Gerent ring fighters, famed for his brutality. For Denham, open ring night often proved to involve nothing more than glowering at the sea of resentful faces before him. Finding no one to answer his challenge, he would cede his place to another fighter, and once more the crowd would discover its courage.
"Milos of Ren,"
the fight master called out. Milos raised his arm in acknowledgement and walked to his corner to await the bell. Marcus didn't hear the chime above the roar, but the two men closed, Milos dwarfed by Denham. The Gerent Fullblood kept his hands down and let Milos take a punch. It was as if he had swung at a tree. Denham's head moved slightly to the left with the blow. Milos clubbed him two-handed across the other side of his face, and Denham's head lurched to the right. Denham returned his gaze to his opponent and grinned, his teeth bloody. Milos didn't appear to understand. He looked down at his fists as if there might be something wrong with them. Denham slapped the man, brushing his arms away. Blood sprayed from Milos's mouth, and he staggered as if drunk. Denham caught him in two great hands, one wrapped around his neck, the other encompassing his thigh, and lifted him 4 yards above the boards before slamming him down, full-bodied, face first. Milos did not rise. An apprentice scrambled in to scatter sand across the crimson smear left behind when they dragged him out beneath the lowest rope. Marcus wasn't alone in thinking that Denham was finished for the night, but the flow of the crowd indicated another challenger coming to the fore. The newcomer appeared, climbing clear of the throng. From behind, Marcus saw only a dark cloak and black hair. This challenger stood even shorter than Milos, little more than 6 foot, and of considerably lighter build. The audience hushed in surprise. "Hanska?" the whisper went round.
"Fool,"
came the reply. The challenger might not be a giant, but even so, Hunskers were never this tall or broad-shouldered. Denham fixed the newcomer with a stare so murderous that Marcus felt the need to run boiling up inside him. As an empath, he was used to swimming in the currents of others' emotions, but the ring fighter's anger ran swifter and more deep than anything he'd felt before, and at each moment threatened to overwhelm his senses. The challenger ducked beneath the top rope.
"Drunk,"
someone speculated. Marcus tried to imagine how drunk a person would have to be to think this a good idea. Too drunk to stand, probably. This one didn't move as if inebriated, though. The hush fell to silence as the challenger's cloak fluttered from the ring. The woman wore the same as the ring fighters, just a white loincloth and a white band of cloth bound tight around her chest, her pale skin accentuating the redness of Denham's complexion. The fight master didn't approach to learn the challenger's name. Instead, he raised his voice.
"Nona of the convent."
Nona didn't lift her arm to acknowledge the crowd's roar, but she did make a slow turn, and when the black orbs of her eyes swept across him, Marcus knew that he had been seen.
"Fight."
Denham